Hey everyone, so today's video is from a recent trip to Tekapo in the South Island of New Zealand, and it's a really beautiful area and surrounded by a lot of the Southern Alps. There's some really great mountains you get in the background of a lot of the shots you'll see here. I was really fortunate here where the sky was really beautiful this morning and the sun's just giving some amazing light with different colours and some wispy clouds in the sky as well. The village here and spotted this bridge, and I thought it would be a great subject here while the sky is really vivid and strong. As I know it's not going to last too long as it keeps rising, so I'm just stopping and trying to find some good spots to take advantage of this amazing sky. So I'm just adjusting the settings here, just getting a feel for how the light currently is and what I should be setting up for most of the shots this morning. And I actually end up trying a few overexposed shots and underexposed shots because the dynamic range in this scene and this light is quite extreme. I'm just heading over the bridge here. You can see some amazing sky right there. I got really lucky this morning. So I thought this would be a nice shot here to get a nice vanishing point. So I've come down quite a bit lower, get the rails on either side, and there's a good bit of texture on the wooden planks there. And then I'm aiming up at the amazing sky. So the sky is like the main focal point, but just getting that nice bit of geometry on the foreground, and it leads your eye up into the scene, up into the sky as well. And I'm hitting quite a wide angle. I think I'm at 17mm for this shot. Now I'm just walking over to the church in Tekapo. It's called Church of the Good Shepherd, and you might have seen it in lots of photographs around the internet before. It's quite a famous spot, especially for astrophotography, as this area is known as a dark sky reserve, so the lights are kept quite dim at night time and you get amazing visibility of the stars and the Milky Way and all that type of stuff. And I might take another video in the future of how to shoot that as well. So this morning I'm just trying to get a nice shot here of the vivid sky. So typically this isn't the perfect composition I would usually go for. I'd usually come around a bit more and get more shot of the church from the front or the back, but you wouldn't see the amazing sky. So it's sometimes a balance between how you can use the current lighting and sort of have a bit of flexibility in the composition to sort of get the best of both worlds. So I've just changed over to the kit lens now, which is a 28mm to 70mm, and I'm just trying to get a bit more compression on the scene to keep the sky at a good scale compared to the foreground with the church. So I thought this would be a nice shot here with the way the clouds happen to be rolling here. It's sort of like a swooping motion from the top right of the frame, and it comes across and takes your eye across, and you see the church right in the foreground there. I thought that would work quite well in this composition, and obviously you get that amazing light as well. As the sun keeps rising, it's actually hit a layer of cloud at the moment, so you don't get that really vivid sky. You can see it off in the distance. There's some snowy mountains right in the background, and you can still see it hidden there, but right in our immediate area you don't get that amazing vivid light hitting the foreground. So I thought this would be a good opportunity now to get a nice, quite zoomed in shot of this rock with someone's done some rock balancing on top of it. And I'm compressing the scene quite a bit. I think I'm at about 70mm for this one, as I'm trying to get those mountains in the distance to be a bit larger in the frame and catch some of that light. And you can see a little bit of the snow-capped mountains as well. It really adds a bit of flavour to the background and the backdrop. It's quite an interesting little rock pile in the lake there, and you get a nice long visual all the way back to the big mountains in the back. So it looks like lots of people have been doing some rock balancing in around this area. There's lots of piles of rocks towering above, and they're actually quite impressive and imposing in person. Like this one on the right here, it's actually really tall. So I'm just trying to convey that in the composition, and it's actually quite challenging because in person you can put things into perspective by standing there and you can see it and you can move around and everything. But in the photograph it's just a still frame and there's nothing really obvious to get a scale of it. So I'm just trying lots of different angles and different heights and all kinds of different things. And also because of all the rocks, they kind of blend in with each other. So you can see at the time we're recording this video, the sun's still coming up. You can see it in the background there. We're just hitting the tips of those hills there. And I'm finding it quite difficult to pop that tower on the right off the background. It's sort of merged in where at the bottom half, where it's just lots of grey rock colour. So the shot I ended up using was slightly later in the day, where the sun's just a little bit higher up and it was actually hitting the face of this tower, and it just brought it up from the background. Another famous feature of this area are lupins, and they're actually weeds, but they got some really amazing vivid colours, and they flower once a year, somewhere around November, December, January time, in that sort of range. And lots of photographers come from all around when they're at their peak, because you get some really nice sort of vivid meadows of these things with all these vivid colours and variety of shapes and sizes as well. So at the time of recording this video, it's a little bit early in the season, so they're still quite small, but you can get an idea of the different colours that are there. And for this shot here, I'm actually coming in quite close and using quite a wide lens here, so I'm probably hovering around 17 to 24, around that range most of the time, and I'm trying to get in real close to the lupins themselves and get lots of detail, so that the mountains and the lake in the background end up being more of a backdrop rather than a feature of the shot itself. And you get some really amazing colours, so I'm trying to get some good angles here and just pop those colours off the background they're in. So they're surrounded by a lot of rocks, so it's a lot of grey and green colours. I'm just trying to work with the palette that the current frame has. So I hope you liked this week's video, guys. I appreciate it if you liked the video, if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Thanks.